Perfect. Okay, it's lunch, learn, and pray again with churchgoers. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're enjoying the sunshine today. We've got a full packed agenda today, so I'm not going to deliberate. For those who aren't familiar with churchgoers, the overall remit of churchgoers is to provide a blueprint for church centers of excellence. We're trying to get churches to raise their game and to be viewed from the outside world as centers of excellence rather than people at war, denominational war, as it were. And we're doing that by building up the community. And I will just explain this icon here on the following screen. So you see we have believers on the left hand side here. So you guys are saints or believers or whatever term you like, Christians. And churchgoers is trying to encourage us to become digital evangelists. So that's what this icon is saying. And not only digital evangelists, um, we're trying to empower you guys to not only be role models, which you already are as a Christian, but role model mentors. So walking the walk and talking the talk. We're also trying to empower churches, conventional churches, to go on a journey to become hybrid churches via digital. And in fact, hybrid essentially means that you operate in church, online, and on demand. And like I said earlier, the overall goal is for us to become centers of excellence, and that's how we want to be viewed in the community. Now, there is a story behind churchgoers, how it got started. It's an initiative that belongs to the church, not me. I am merely a messenger, an apostle to do a work for the church because I have those skills afforded to me. So traditionally, we see the church, or the outside world sees the church as sacred, a sacred organization. But we also do an awful lot for the community, providing community services. In fact, we spend a lot more time in community services. And churchgoers is trying to find a happy medium between the two. But it's basically most of the work we're doing is in extending the services available to the community through church. For example, training and mentoring. All those will be part of the services that we provide, as well as the food banks and the warm spaces and all those other lovely services that we provide. Today we're talking about enterprise and business and just the whole framework of church. But let me start off with my moderator's intro.
Greetings and welcome to our Lunch, Learn, and Pray session presented by churchgoers, the thought leaders in digital ministry, and community church. Today, as always, we start by blessing your lunch, followed by a multimedia presentation, and concluding with a Q&A section. Just a few housekeeping points to go through before we get started. Please stay on mute until we launch the interactive section. But in the meantime, do key your questions in the chat or use the Google form link provided. The session will be recorded, so you are welcome to switch off your cameras if preferred. But if you're feeling truly Christian, then key your name and church in the chat, and keep those emojis coming. Lastly, we thank NTCG Hern Hill for sponsoring the session today. I now have great pleasure in introducing the founder of Churchgoers, Brother Paul Johnson.
Lovely. So it's me again. Let's get started. So last week I took you guys on a journey, and I'm wondering if I should do this at the start or not. Let's just quickly run through the journey again. So imagine you have an usher in the church. So I'm actually have that grand title of the door usher, and I typically have people that turn up in the church that are visitors. And it's my job to escort that visitor to a lovely chair that they feel comfortable in. But also, in the modern world, in the churchgoers world, I would take that opportunity to get them to scan a QR code. That QR code introduces them to our app. Our app describes all our services and requests their visitors' information to be keyed into the app via a form. And in fact, let me just quickly show you what that looks like. Okay, so here we have the Hernhill app, and here's the visitors form, and um, here's where they would key in their details. So we're replacing the paper-based version with the digital version. And a lot of what Churchgoers is doing is providing tools and apps that makes church a lot more efficient and friendly to the environment. So, and then we have a donate button with a form behind that, and we make it a lot smoother for the client. But today's about business, so not so much about the journey. And if you go to the bottom of each app, um, you see information that you can customize according to your requirements. But what I actually wanted to show you is how do businesses feature, right? So the business model of churchgoers is quite interesting in that we don't charge the church and we don't charge the members. But what we do charge is a small fee for businesses to list their products and their services on the app or on the platform. And there's various places in the platform that you can do so. So we advertise and market your products, but at the same time, we credit a church with your listing. So as long as that church has sufficient listings for the services that they require, they need not pay us a penny. In a nutshell, that is the business model. But we're going to go into it in a bit more depth shortly. So let's go back to. Let's go back. Oh, my screen has frozen. So we're going to stop sharing that and wait for my screen to wake up. Yeah, so I can't quite see what's happening here. Apologies for the delay here. We have a new device being tried out. All right, let me share my screen again because it has totally broken. Let's share that. Perfect. All right, we're back to the presentation. So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about how churchgoers accommodates businesses. We're not going to explain this diagram because it was explained last week. And the background behind churchgoers is all about a manifesto. We're not going to go into that this week. Watch the show last week because I want you guys to understand the right-hand side here, which is about businesses and how it relates to all the services that we provide to the church. Okay, let me move on. This is about the background of the church. Traditionally, the Windrush generation started the church. We're now into the digital era, and tomorrow we'll be into the virtual era. And so we need to catch up and digitalize things as best as possible. But that opens up a lot of opportunities for the church. There are 5 billion people online, but also for the businesses or the businesses that for the businesses that are run by members in the church. And by the church, I don't necessarily mean the institution. I mean the Christians, the members, the believers, right? Which is today's focus. So let's just give us a little bit more of a vision. We see the church as as a center of excellence in the center of the community, liaising via partnerships with academia. We of churchgoers have already got partnerships going with various universities across the UK, and that's how we're going to roll out churchgoers. We're encouraging all churches to form partnerships, not just with universities or academia, more so with businesses and enterprises within their church and outside. At the moment, I don't see much evidence of that going on, and there are huge opportunities where that is concerned. We also have formed partnerships with mentoring organizations, and that again will serve the different domains of church, whether you're talking about the institution of church or whether you're talking about the church members. So if you have a business, for example, and you're a member of the church, you will be able to get business mentoring within the scope of church as part of our extended services. So if there's any area that you would like to develop your business in, I happen to be a business consultant myself, you will get you will have the opportunity to discuss your challenges with people like me on a larger scale, on a huge scale. And that's why I'm so excited this morning, as I am every Friday. All right, I'm going to skip that. This diagram here is quite an interesting one. So it's saying that for a business in today's world, they will struggle to get customers if they do not have ratings, reviews, testimonies, and feedback links available on their website, or at least recorded from their website or from an app. So you don't have to reveal your ratings and your reviews or feedback, but you do need to record it. How can you be a data driven organization if you don't record the information? How how do we how do we build a strategy to keep the visitors within our four walls if we don't know why they leave in the first place? And the same applies to members. Why do members leave? Why do students not come back from university? The only way you're going to find out is having surveys or an apparatus that records that information for you to make decisions. Okay. But anyway, my point was that not just the church needs to have that, your business needs to have that as well, because every business online has those controls in place. And if you want further information, then I'm happy to provide it. Now, this diagram here is talking about leveling up the church and business. So this is really talking about corporate. So on the left hand side, we have the in yellow, the church. And on the right hand side in blue, we have corporations or businesses or institutions or enterprises, whatever word you feel comfortable with. And what it's saying is, from an economic point of view, this is a turnover or the profit, shall we say, of businesses, right? This is on scale how much they have, right? After all their expenses have paid. One of their expenses is going to be wages, right? They're going to employ people that's going to earn wages. And a proportion of those wages, as we know, goes towards tithes if they are Christians, right? That's the church economy in a nutshell, right? My point today is, why does the church why is the church not interested in this pie? Why are they only interested in this slice of the pie? Let me elaborate further, right? This represents the profits. Now, the profits, before you can establish the profits, you need to establish, well, how much taxes you need to pay. And you need to pay those taxes to HMRC. This, this pot here represents taxes, right? Relative to wages, relative to profits, taxes. But the industry, businesses, enterprises have a choice. They can give that money directly to HMRC, or they can give it to charities. A church is a charity. If they give it to a charity, then it gets offset against the taxes they would need to pay. Sometimes it's as simple as, do we give it to charity, or do we pay the tax man? And then there are other benefits, right? Corporate social responsibility, which I covered last week in a lunch and learn. In the street, they want to be kinder to the planet. They want to be better role models for the economy and society in general. So businesses are quite happy to support churches who provide a service in the community. Furthermore, if these people here represent the staff within an organization. If there is a relationship between a church and the business, those customers could potentially become members of our church and vice versa. The church members, having seen a relationship between the two organizations, may be more inclined to become customers. It's a win-win for everybody. Basic economics that I want the church to understand, appreciate, and take advantage of going forward. Everybody I speak to talks about growth. You have the solution right here. Anyway, let's carry on. What this slide here is saying is that, all right, forget the bit in the middle because I've already explained that on a previous broadcast. We have churches on the outside, right? So we have multi churches here, so a church with multiple sites. Um, at the top, we have the mega churches that are huge, and then we have the solo one man band churches, and then the micro churches and the online churches. So we have the kingdom represented on the outside of this circle. Now, what what it says at the bottom there is, how can a church be the biggest network in the world without a network? Particularly if you think from a business point of view, we are not a network if we can't talk to each other. We're not a network if we can't communicate or fellowship, which is our word. I can't talk to I can't talk to people in my district. Never mind the whole 150 branches that we have within our organization. I speak to other churches and they have the same dilemma. Nobody seems to think it is beneficial for us to communicate at a kingdom level. From a business point of view, it's a total wasted opportunity. And whether that business is the church or whether that business is your personal business, it's a wasted opportunity that I refuse to lose on. So today is going to drill down a little bit deeper into that. But first and foremost, I want you to appreciate that churchgoers provides a network that enables us to talk to each other. If we can talk to each other, we can promote our goods and services to each other, and all of a sudden the value of going to church multiplies exponentially. Let's dig a little bit deeper. How does churchgoers help faith businesses? So, as I say, in a church, you have a church is blessed because every single trade and profession is in the four walls, right? Is in the four walls already. Some of us have businesses, some of us are entrepreneurs. Today is focused on the latter two, right? Business owners and entrepreneurs. Now, if you consider other communities, right? Church is one community which is represented here, but we have the Asian community, we have the white community, and we have the black community, right? Just to illustrate my point. Now, um, the writing on the side there are the processes that are most prominently associated with those communities. So, church, at least the black church, was formed through credit unions and partner. Right back in the day when they came to the UK post World War II, that's how churches were established. That's how we raised the money, and also to buy our houses. The same economy or economics was used. Right, Asians model, they're self-sufficient. You'll never see an Asian walk into your business. And when you do, they're only going to buy something if you're also buying something that they're selling. They've got it on lock. I can't explain to you their business model because I'm not Asian, but I do know that they got it on lock, right? The Jews, even back in the Bible days, used to be the best business people. In fact, they still are the foundation of banks and finances. Anyway, um, and then you have you have the black community, right? So compare the black community and their wealth compared to the Asian community. Now we came up with a very interesting model called Black Pound Day, which is where the pound, every month you frequented a black establishment, and that shows you the value of black economics or black community economics. And it took off for a while, and it's going in the right direction. Today we're not discussing that organization. we are discussing the faith equivalent of that. So the faith community. So here's our pound, right? Just to illustrate our point. Here's our pound. And we're going to move that. Well, let's move it to the Asian community. What I'm saying is that if all these people in this quadrant are Asian, then if we take this little icon, that pound gets circulated across all the people in this community. And I believe the figures are in front of you. So this is an American equivalent because I didn't have time to prepare, but 28 days. So the average pound or dollar circulates for 28 days in the Asian community, 19 in the Jewish, 6 hours in the Black community. So you can see the relative maturity or understanding of economics or wealth, right? But and that's bad enough because I am Black, so I have to state those statistics. But I am also a member of a church, so I'm a Christian, and there is a faith community, right? That is the members. How long does £1 circulate in the faith community? Let me tell you, it doesn't even circulate. So the 6 hours in the Black community is bad enough, considering that it should be around 28 days. But in the faith community, we have no such economy. We don't even support ourselves, but we call each other brethren and fellowship. And I'm thinking, whoa, but remember, I'm biased. I'm a business consultant and I'm an IT consultant, but I'm just talking about economics here. And if you understand the point I'm making, you'll jump on board churchgoers because it's now addressing the whole equation in a very simple solution, right? We need to support each other before we can support the outside community. When we are a tight network, they're going to want to come because they're going to see what we have. In the same way that I have the most admiration for the Asian community because I know how tight they are. Not saying I want to be Asian, but I appreciate from a business point of view, I appreciate how they stick together. I appreciate their business principles. So what I'm saying is churchgoers is going to give you the best of all the business models that I am aware of. Now, I myself am a member of a business network because churchgoers need corporate support. That's why we're not charging. We need corporate support for this program, deemed the biggest project the church has undertaken since Windrush, right? It's a huge scope that my vision entails. So what I'm saying is we're going to look at credit unions, partner, networking, referrals, and community business models. And I ain't got time to explain them all, but where possible, we're going to incorporate that within churchgoers. So anybody that has a business or is an entrepreneur within the faith community is going to flourish, is going to thrive as a result of what I'm putting together. You can't buy this. You can't buy this. On top of that, my IT expertise is going to help you to monetize the additional marketing and opportunities that it gives you. So, like your ability to put your brand in front of the app, but we also have an app called Event Goers, and you can endorse an event of your choice, right? Whether that is a church convention or a business conference or the Black Business Show or the Black Business Week or whatever business event that you admire as a business, you can endorse that through event goers because we are establishing partnerships with all these event organizers to use our app. And if you're a member of New T West Croydon district, then you will see the app deployed next week at our district convention. So, in a nutshell, and I'm a bit struck for time today, but in a nutshell, what I'm offering businesses and entrepreneurs is a faith business community, a faith business network that is based on the best networks that are already in existence outside of church. And most business networks you need to pay £1,200. The one I belong to is, you know, £650 a year, but most of them are in excess of £1,000. And what you get is only one methodology. So, for example, a lot of them work on referrals. If we all network together, I promote your business, you promote mine. I refer your organization, excuse me, to a member of my family or friends, and vice versa. It's a very simple system, but it seems to people seem to be loyal to it. But what I'm introducing is far more sophisticated, because I have the benefit of studying the business models that are out there, and being a business consultant of many decades, I can come up with a system that works for everybody on a win-win basis. So those were the key announcements I had today. We're not going to talk about rewards and risks. We're not going to talk about benchmarking. We're going to have a look and see if we've got any questions. And if we don't have any questions, I'm going to give you a little demo of the Event Goers app, and you can see how that works, because that's way more powerful from a marketing point of view than the ChurchGOers one at this stage. But you can also promote your business or um, uh, your side hustle. Even you can promote it on the network. You can promote it within WhatsApp. You can promote it in churchgoers, and you can promote it on event goers. I have various tools and platforms where you can expose your offering to the kingdom. To the kingdom, your customers first and foremost will be the kingdom. Think of Trustpilot, right? Trustpilot has built its business model by saying these tradesmen are trusted to deliver a service that you will be happy with, content with, right? What I'm saying is, by definition, we are trustworthy citizens of the community. So we're already on par with Trustpilot, right? If we build a directory, we're already on par with Trustpilot, because we are role models and mentors in the community, walking the walk and talking the talk, right? But we go on to offer even more than that. But if you start to think in them terms, you can understand what my vision is. You can understand why we've not capitalized on the opportunity that's right in front of us. We're the biggest network that don't even talk to each other. I'm not having that. Not only are we going to talk to each other, but we're going to build a business model that's going to help the kingdom. Imagine it. You're a member of the church and you pay tithes based on your wages or based on your profits. But if I build a network that enables your business to thrive, then the church thrives, because you'll be paying, your 10% will be growing, right? Your 10% of a bigger number is going to be a bit more than what you're paying at the moment. It's like a win-win. You can't buy this. You can't buy this. So churchgoers has ambition. Oh, lunch, learn and pray, 6 responses. I think I might lose you guys. All right, no new questions have come in. All right, let me close that. Okay, let me just see if anyone. You'll have to excuse my computer today. It is refusing. Right, there we are. Okay, so do we have any questions in the house here. Right, no questions in the house. So um, let us carry on. Let me just quickly show you what event goers looks like. So for you business owners, um, and the sun is blinding me, which is not helping, but we'll struggle on. So eventgoers.uk, we're hoping to franchise it at some point. That's why it has a domain of .uk. And let me share this screen so you guys can see. And it contains, so hopefully you can see this. It's a list of prominent business or church events coming up, right? So it shows you what's coming up. And I mentioned earlier, we have the West Croydon District Convention happening next weekend. And the app gives you the agenda of all the event. So it's a Friday to Sunday event, and it gives you all the details. But for today, we're more interested in, well, how does that relate to my business or my hustle, right? Well, as you can see, it gives you all the details, the description, the promo video, the hosts, the sessions, the metrics, the theme, the, the speakers. But right at the bottom, it tells you, well, who's supporting this event. So who are the exhibitors? Who are the advertisers? Who are the sponsors? Now, that could be your business. Speaking of which, we have Royston today from my church. Royston, chef. I think they call him chef something or other. But um, he's launching his restaurant business today. He's not officially supporting or um, the lunch, learn, and pray session today, but he's opening a restaurant today. So his brand could be here, right? His brand could be here. And when you select your brand, then you tell us what you want to happen thereafter. Do you want to play a video? Do you want to show a product? Do you want it to go to your website? You determine what you want to happen. Do you want to show your socials? Do you want them to book a meeting with you? You're in charge of what happens next. So this particular one has a promo video, it's an image, and it has a website being shown down there at the bottom. So that's an example of how the business model serves you. You agree to endorse an event for a small fee, and then your brand gets exposed to the audience of that event. And let me tell you, I've advertised at quite a lot of events, and you normally get 1 hour's traffic during the lunch break when everyone's hungry and rushing to wherever they can get a sandwich. You normally get 1 hour's traffic to do some business. This enables your brand to be exposed to that audience and complementary audiences for the duration of when this was uploaded to the app, right? So if they're organized, they would upload the save the date flyer, for example, 3 to 6 months in advance. So when people go into the app and they click, oh, there's an event happening in 3 months' time, and they click on it, they can see your brand from that point. The Black Business Week, the biggest event that I'm an exhibitor at, they advertise 1 year in advance. 1 year in advance, their save the date is uploaded onto Eventbrite and therefore my app. And anybody who wants to endorse that event can put their flyer, their promo at the bottom of that event and get the traffic for 1 year. So you can get your money back. You can get sales and leads, that pay your money back for whatever fee you pay to advertise on that event way before the event starts. Way before the event starts. Very powerful business model that everybody is happy with. And on top of that, right? On top of that, you can advertise your book. So if you're an author of a book and you want it seen to a large audience, you can upload that onto the Event Goers app, But yeah, you don't necessarily have to endorse an event. You can upload your business details and it will be displayed as part of our business directory, depending on whether you're an advertiser, an exhibitor, or a sponsor. So we have all sorts of people that have sponsored our events or that advertise on the platform. So hopefully, y- well, you guys are business people, so you can understand what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure you understand what I'm saying, and there's a queue to come on board. But let me just show you. Let me just show you one other thing. So, um, if you look at the total volume to date of event goers, then this is saying that we have had 274,000 attendees, amounting to 1,000 and 1,500 sessions and however many exhibitors. So I'm saying that we're only warming up, but we could go over 1 million attendees by the end of the year with no problem at all. It's just that I'm juggling event goers and church goers at the moment. But that, the demand I have for this app is quite considerable, which means the number of people that will be associated, that will be familiar with your business or your brand, will profit too. So this is faith economy. This is the faith business economy um, masterclass that you're getting this afternoon, and that I'm so excited to describe to you. Now then, do we have any questions in the house? If not, I must prepare for my next meeting. As always, it's been a pleasure delivering this lunch, learn, and pray session. We do have some very interesting guests that will be presenting their proposition within the framework of digital ministry, but also within the framework of the manifesto, because it is the church leaders that hired me. Remember, it's not my project, this is the church's project, right? And the the remit is church and community, criminal justice, economic development, environment, family, health and well-being, information communications, technology, international aid, media, music, arts and culture, political mobilization, youth, and education. So, the remit of churchgoers, where possible, will try and address the requirements of this manifesto on behalf of the church institution. I do love my lunch and learns. Okay, so we don't have any questions live. So let me stop the recording now. In terms of prayer, I wish you guys, whether you're watching this on demand or live or what have you, I hope that it has nourished your lunch, blessed your lunch. I hope your digestion has improved accordingly. I pray that more so that you will understand the full design and the architecture behind churchgoers, deemed the biggest project the church has undertaken since Windrush, and it all benefits you. It all benefits you, and it's trying to address the the image, the negative image that the church has from the outside world, right? I want the outside world to want to be a member of the church, not only for biblical reasons, but because the way we mobilize ourselves as a network will be above and beyond what you see all the other networks that outlined today. So all the business networks, the Asian community model, I want our pound to circulate more than 28 days. That is our goal, right? If you want to put it in monetary terms, when we have our wages, we will frequent businesses that are part of churchgoers and part of the Christian community first and foremost. I'm not saying don't spend your money outside. I'm just saying build up, build up your family, build up your house first, right? It's simple economics. As always, it's been a pleasure. I hope and pray that you guys have a nice weekend and that your church service helps to marinate the learnings that you acquired today. I will be serving as a mentor on the network. Remember, it's not just the business model that you get. What we're also offering you are mentorships in any area of business. You will have a whole host of mentors to choose from, that will help you to elevate your business to where you're trying to get it. And most, if not all, of those mentors operate for free. I certainly am not charging for my services, and all the ones that I know won't necessarily be charging, although business mentoring tends to have a charge. But the ones within churchgoers, I can proudly say, will be offering at least some of their services complimentary. So have a nice weekend, and I'll catch up with you guys later on at Joy and Gladness, Royston's uh, enterprise down there in Stockwell, pub in Stockwell. We've posted it in the event group for those who want more details. I'll see you down there tonight. Otherwise, yeah, have a nice weekend, and I'll be back next week with more blessings. All right, bye for now.